It kind of made sense to talk about gratitude today. Yeah, um, I know the holiday means a lot of things to a lot of people. I know for me, when I was growing up, it meant the way that the marketers, the commodification of all holidays, in the West, it's quite striking. For me, it always just meant lots of food and lots of football, and maybe a little grace just before we started to eat. Maybe. And that was it. That's what Thanksgiving was for me. Um, uh, and it can be a lot of things, but when we boil it down, essentially, the essential, definition of, the Thanksgiving, it was about thanks to God for all of the blessings, thanks to God, not just gratitude in general, but thanks to the divine. Well, okay, we'll do that. But I want to speak about gratitude and the importance of that in our practice. And so often, this word bhavana, Bhavana, it's really been a central part of Buddhist practice in other countries, in Southeast Asian countries. Gratitude, generosity, and patience are practiced in life, in a very big way, as fundamental part of the perfections, part of the qualities that need to be cultivated in order to wake up. And not so much here. Here, the whole all of bhavana, the cultivation of quality. There's some idea that if we just keep practicing mindfulness, that all the other qualities will just magically show up, eventually. And in my experience, they did not. They did not. And gratitude did not show up until I started to practice gratitude. Yeah, gratitude. I may have shared this story with you before in the daily sit. I have a good friend who is a director of a hospice. He was speaking to me a few years ago, and he said, I was really struck by toward the end of life, what people are mostly feel sad about or regret. And he said it wasn't that they would wish they'd done one more wild and crazy thing. And that was like the second on the list, But the first was they wish that they had been more grateful when things were going well in their lives. Major regret at the end of life. That they were so busy either regretting something in the past or wanting something more, planning more and more and more and more for the future, that they had not spent much time being grateful for the blessings in the present in their lives, even when things were going really well. Yeah. And that really stayed with me. And really had a very powerful influence on me. And, Susan and I have been practicing gratitude for a while. We practice it wherever we can now. You've probably heard us say when we wake up in the morning, we woke up. But we go out of our way to focus on the cultivation of gratitude. There's a lot to not be grateful for in the world right now. We know this. Right? But where do we want to spend more of our time? What mind states do we want to grow stronger within ourselves? Which mind states have a positive effect on our states of mind, on our quality of well-being, and which do not? I don't know if I'm gonna disappear when I do this or not. but I want to read something. I'll come back in 1 second if I just disappeared. This is the Buddha didn't say a lot specifically about gratitude, but here's one. The Blessed One said, now, what is the level of a person of no integrity? It's interesting. He ties integrity together with gratitude. A person of no integrity is ungrateful and unthankful. This ingratitude, this lack of thankfulness, is advocated by rude people. It is entirely on the level of people of no integrity. A person of integrity is grateful and thankful. This gratitude, this thankfulness is advocated by civil people. It is entirely on the level of people of integrity. Yeah. And there's also some talk about, wow, can you guys still see me? I think I have lost your picture, but I need to know if you can still.
They can see you. They can see you, darling. They can see you just fine.
Okay, great. I'm just going to leave it like this. I don't know how to get the picture back up. Anyway, it's also considered to be, so and why would that be connected with integrity? You know? Well, I know in my experience, when there's not much gratitude flowing in me, I'm taking things for granted. Or I'm feeling a little bit entitled, or I'm feeling aggravated because I'm not in control of the whole universe. You know? Things aren't quite so, and it stirs up the opposite. The opposite, I would say, of gratitude, which is greed, which is things aren't quite enough. Oh, here you are. Susan just came up and rescued me. Now I can see you all. It stirs up. There's more greed. I mean, in fact, it is talked about that gratitude is one of the antidotes. It's an antidote for greed, for wanting more, coming back to rest to appreciate what we do have, what is here, you know? And you've heard us talk about this. Look, for me, very often, just sitting down in meditation, just the miracle of being here at all, just that the breath is coming in, just that the heart is beating, you know, just that we're here, that we're safe, the things that are just around us all the time. Yeah, I'm sick. Can I be grateful that I'm sick? Well, you know, whenever I'm sick, I'm grateful that I'm not sicker. You know, we just have a really good friend, a Dharma teacher friend in the Tibetan tradition who just died a terrible death, cancer, fighting cancer for a year. You know what? I got the flu. Know what I mean? And so I try to even look at challenging things and find the grateful spot in there instead of just complaining, which is what I used to do more of. It's like, wait a second. Where are the blessings here? They're all around me. Yeah. There's it's interesting. They've also made a connection. They actually did some research on this and found that gratitude was connected with patience, developing more patience. Believe it or not, they found out that with when somebody practices gratitude, I don't know exactly. I didn't look into detail into this research, but they found out that people who are inclined to be more shopaholics can delay their gratification a little bit more and not buy something so quickly if they're practicing gratitude. You know, again, maybe I've got enough. You know, maybe I don't need this thing on here to fill me up. You know, et cetera, et cetera. So none of these are standalone. I mean, gratitude has a lot of implications. You know, for the way we relate to our lives. Yeah, and it's one of the we think one of the top qualities. You know, for that we certainly it's changed our relationship to our lives, the practice of it. There's somebody just sent me this quote yesterday, which is a great coincidence, and It's from Meister Eckhart. Do you all know Meister Eckhart, who's a Christian mystic, a contemplative? I love this quote. If the only prayer you say in your life is thank you, that will suffice. I mean, we don't need fancy schmancy here. If the only prayer you say in your life is thank you, that will suffice. Yeah. And of course, for me, it's more of a practice. It's not like something that gets installed, but it does become, and this is what Buddhism is getting at, become a new habit to be cultivated, the gratitude habit, because it feels good also to feel, to be in touch with gratitude, right? It's a really good feeling, not just mentally, but even viscerally when we're in that space of gratitude. Yeah, 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 yeah. So on Thanksgiving, just a reminder to all of us to, for me, I'm getting beyond the food and the football to some things more basically, the blessings that we have all around us, the many blessings, the many blessings, knowing that they won't always be so also. Yeah, that hint of impermanence. We're not ever, we're here now. Let's focus. Where shall we focus? How shall we focus our hearts and minds today? Yeah, yeah.